and how the father of one of the heroes is now lashing out at the Obama administration. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin broke the story this morning and begins our coverage tonight.
Sources on the ground in Benghazi tell Fox News that an urgent request from the CIA annex for military backup during the attack on the consulate and annex was denied by their CIA chain of command. Twice, members of a CIA element at the annex 1 mile from the consulate that included former SEAL Tyrone Woods were told to, quote, stand down when they requested permission starting at approximately 9:40 p.m. to aid the ambassador's staff. About 1 hour after the attack began on the consulate, those operators, including Woods, ignored orders and went anyway.
He was a hero, willing to do whatever was necessary to respond to their cries for help. If, in fact, those people in the White House were as courageous and had the moral strength that my son Ty had, immediately, within minutes of when they found there was the first attack, they would have given permission, not denied permission, for those C-130s to have gone up there.
Special operations forces often use AC-130 Spectre gunships for close air support during special operations. The Pentagon says air support could not get to Benghazi in time to help.
There's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on here.
The Pentagon immediately moved at least one Tier 1 special operations team from Central Europe, where they were training, to Sigonella Air Base in southern Italy. Fox is told that Delta Force operators were at Sigonella, but never deployed to Benghazi, which was just 480 miles away. A separate security source who was in Benghazi and helped with the rescue says they believe the Libyan attackers were planning an ambush on the American rescuers.
There's a basic principle here. Basic principle is that you don't deploy forces into harm's way without knowing what's going on, without having some real-time information about what's taking place. And as a result of not having that kind of information, the commander who was on the ground or in that area, General Ham, General Dempsey, and I felt very strongly that we could not put forces at risk in that situation.
Sources present during the attack say when Woods and the rest of his rescue team returned from the consulate to the CIA annex at midnight, the annex again radioed for help, and none was sent, even though they were starting to take fire. Fox has learned that 2 unmanned drones were positioned above Benghazi that night, at least one of them unarmed, and were sending real-time video back to Washington.
After the facts came out, that in real time, the White House, from minutes after the first bullet was fired, they watched my son. They denied pleas for help. My son violated his orders to protect lives of at least 30 people. He risked his life to be a hero. I wish that the leadership in the White House had that same level of moral courage and heroism that my son displayed with his life.
By 2 a.m., former Navy SEAL Glenn Doherty and a small rescue team from Tripoli arrived at the Benghazi airport, but they were delayed by unorganized Libyan forces, arriving at the CIA annex sometime before 4 a.m. 4 mortars were fired at the CIA annex, 1 killing Doherty and Woods while they manned a gun position on the roof. They had the coordinates of those firing the mortars, but no air support was sent. Meanwhile, in a radio interview today, President Obama said he was unaware of any request to increase security around Benghazi before the attack occurred.
My biggest priority right now is bringing those folks to justice, and I think the American people have seen that's a commitment I always keep.
The president was also asked about the administration's shifting story on the origin of the attack.
What's true is that the intelligence was coming in and evolving as more information came up. And what is true, and this is something that the American people can take to the bank, is that my administration plays this stuff straight. We don't play politics when it comes to American national security.
Late today, the CIA responded, quote, "We can say with confidence that the agency reacted quickly to aid our colleagues during that terrible evening in Benghazi. Moreover, no one at any level in the CIA told anybody not to help those in need. Claims to the contrary are simply inaccurate." Nevertheless, Brett, our sources were on the ground during the attack.
Especially after that quote from the CIA, Jennifer, there will be people who question your sources. I mean, how solid are they?
As good as they get.
On the ground.
On the ground.
Jennifer, thank you. 3 Republican senators want to see the surveillance video from the Benghazi attack. John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and Kelly Ayotte have asked the heads of the Pentagon, CIA, and Justice Department to declassify the images. We have not heard a response as of yet. Please join me this weekend for a special look at the Libya scandal, an updated special report.